Hey. Welcome, gentlemen. Modise. Tonda
How's it, X?
Bavuma. I know. Easy, dog.
How you
Easy.
doing? How you doing, man?
I know. I'm easy, my captain. I'm easy, my captain.
Is
Yeah,
it
gents.
live already? It says scheduled at the top, so I want to make sure it's live.
It's actually live, bro. Yeah, we live
Oh,
now.
okay.
Yeah, we in, we
Okay,
in, we
good.
in.
As long
Yeah.
as we are within the people.
Yeah, as long as we are in. Guys, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Keep it interactive as well in the comment section. And yeah, guys, kicking off with cricket. I wanted us to, of course, first things first, this episode is pretty much an episode for Umudi Sesam more than anything because he's been asking me. He's like, bruh, we need to talk about cricket and everything. So I was like, you know what? Let's start things off with regards to the the Proteas, Dean and Temba be setting a good example. Like how do you guys think they of course carried the baton from with the cock? Because we all know what the cock did. After the first test, he was like, you know what, guys, peace out. I'm done being captain of the test team. And of course retired, which is insane. I mean, this guy's the same age as me,
It's us.
29,
Yeah.
which is
Mm.
insane. He's still young, bruh, in cricket terms. So your take there, Modise, bro.
You know, cricket has frustrated me over the last couple of years. You
Yeah.
look at a guy like Temba who's been at the back of a lot of backlash. If you read what has been written about Temba on Twitter, everywhere, on Facebook, in the comment section of any CSA page, you will understand why now Temba is, he's making sure he performs at the best or even better than he ever has. I always say, look at a guy like, let me give you an example, Markram. Markram is a brilliant cricketer in my mind, a great
Mm.
batsman, but he hasn't been on form of late. But nothing is happening to him. Temba lost a bit of form, he got dropped. Markram is just being pushed down the pecking order. He's just being taken to bat number 3, number 4, number 5, just to accommodate him and help him revive his form. But that hasn't been the case for Temba. What I don't what I realize is that the captaincy is working for Temba. He's captain of the Lions franchise, possibly the only franchise that has believed in our black cricketers from a coaching perspective, right through to youth playing levels and everything else. There's been no discrimination, and they've performed probably better than any other franchise. And I don't watch a lot of franchise cricket, but you read and you follow what happens, and you understand that Temba is a pure, clear leader. What I don't understand as things stand is why Temba is not the captain for all three formats. He's on form. He's had the highest batting average across Test cricket and ODI for 2021. I think ODI he's only just behind Rassi, who's been brilliant at that level.
Yeah.
But why? Clearly, the captaincy thing is working for Temba. He's a smart guy. Why is he not captain of all three formats?
Yeah. And then you turned on your end, bro. Like, do you agree? Do you have anything to add onto
Yeah.
Modise? Yeah.
Um, yeah, just to add on to that, I think there's always like a racial undertone in like sports, especially in SA. There's certain sports like, cricket, the hockeys, the sports that are performed well by people who like go to a certain type of school. And unfortunately, you always find racial undertones which seep through into our national team. Our rugby team went through a similar process as well, where we had those complaints of players being played in certain positions whilst we had capable people sitting on the bench and stuff. So racial undertones will seep through to every sport, I suppose, as we see more, black people coming in. And yeah, I personally, I don't like feeding like into the trolls because most of the time, if Timber loses, it's always you always find people with like racial insinuations, oh, quota players, oh, that, yada yada. But I think much like other sports, cricket is also coming through that phase. So I think we're getting into a place of where I'm hoping the current players are having those kind of chats amongst them selves. So these hearings that are going on, there's a lot to unpack as well in that. But I think when it comes to criticisms of players and everything, it'll always be there. But following on from the series, like you're saying, how did Dean do? How did Timber do? I'm one of those who advocates for us to have a separate captaincy. So I'm very happy with the way it's working right now, where Timber is the captain of the short formats. He's the captain of both teams, and then Dean gets the test side. Timber is also the vice captain there, so it's not too he isn't too far away anywhere from there, right? But in my view, I support the captaincies that way, because for a team to do really well in a format, right, you really have to have a captain who is planning, because tests are very testing, right, by nature. They'll test all your skills, they'll test the players, and I need a captain who can focus on, okay, conditions in New Zealand coming up are going to be like this. This is how I want us to play. This is the tempo. This will be my bowling changes. I need him to think about that side. And I think with the way the shorter format has now been evolving with the emergence of T20 cricket, you're seeing so many different styles. And there was an interview that Timber did, I think it was after the second win, where he's like, I think too much. So in terms of that, I prefer them, the way they are. And then lastly, I think the nature of the captain flows through into the actual team. So on the shorter formats, Temba has been doing well himself, which gives him confidence as well. He's scoring at a very quick rate. I think the one thing that stood out is following the captain's lead as well. The guys were scoring runs. When it comes to the tests, they also followed through, because Dean can take balls. The team found themselves in like difficult places, but they managed to win. So yeah, that would be my like summary of the series.
Yeah. I know, bro. And also speaking on I mean, I heard you, Modise, speaking on the batting as
I
well.
tend
Sorry.
to disagree on the captaincy part.
Oh yeah. Why, dog? Yeah. Hello?
Have
Can
we
you hear me,
lost him?
Sam?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, see, I think we've lost him, man.
Okay,
I
hopefully
didn't
he will
anticipate him to
jump back.
want to discuss the captaincy, But you see, with me, Sam, bro, like just to give my 2 cents with regards to the captaincy, when it comes to
Yep.
cricket, my knowledge of it is not as refined as yours and Modise. I think Modise played it as well in high school as well, cricket
Yep.
and all. So on my end, like it would only make sense, if there's one person who's a captain, as
Exactly.
far as all three formats are concerned. Utemba is someone who's extremely experienced. I mean, he's, as far as playing cricket is concerned, I'm not too sure about his numbers internationally. I haven't yet like checked how many tests and ODIs he's played, but he has played cricket for a very long time. I've known Temba since I was like in my first year, of varsity. Like, so for me, from an experience standpoint, it would only make sense for that. But when Amodise, like, did you want to add on?
Yeah, sorry, I lost a bit
Yeah,
there. Yeah, sorry.
yeah.
Tonde, by the way, are you related to Temba before I go on?
No, I'm not.
Okay, all right. Okay, no, just to get the conflict of interest out the way.
Nah,
I
Yeah,
tend to disagree. Yeah, no, I disagree with you, Tonde, Mr. Bavuman. And I believe we should have one captain. And I mean, we always look at the gods of cricket, which are India, right? India, as we know, runs global cricket, worldwide cricket. And if you look at a guy like Virat Kohli, who they've been the most successful under across all three formats over, 7 years, I believe he was captain. And he was, at the same time, he was the number one ranked batsman across all three formats as well. And India were consistent. India remained a threat at all time. India played at, they performed at its best. And yes, it may be straining for a bit, but traditionally in South Africa, we've always had and played under one leadership structure. Quinton isn't captain material for me. We saw that with his form when he was captain. Hashim Amla was not captain material for me. We saw that in his form when he was captain. And both those two guys were given the opportunity to captain all three formats. Faf, captain all three formats. AB, captain all three formats. Graham Bergman, Graham Smith, captain all three formats. Sean Pollock, captain all three formats. And I can go back. But now it comes to Temba and we're splitting it because we're trying to do something different. And I had nothing, for me, I know Alga is not an ODI player and he doesn't play ODI cricket, right? And I do believe that he does have leadership qualities. He's a brilliant captain. Like you said, if you saw the knocks he took for the team and, he put his head on the block for the entire team.
Bro.
That is
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think there's like a thing in the feed.
Oh,
can you hear me?
Can you hear us now? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think Tonde is struggling a bit there like me.
Can you hear us, Tonde?
I can, but there's like a feedback I'm receiving.
Like what? Like is the sound bad?
Let me just leave and then I'll just come.
All right. No worries. You can continue there, bro.
Yeah, but what I was saying, X, is that, now it comes a time where, we actually believe in a guy we know he can do it. We know he can do the job. And we're just not giving it to him. And for me, there will always be a racial connotation behind it because we gave everybody else a chance to captain all three formats. Why can't we give it to Temba? And if we recall, Temba, when he came into cricket, into the international space, he was deemed and painted. And I emphasize on painted because that's the picture and image that the media painted of him as a test cricketer, not an ODI cricketer, not a T20 player, but he's performed possibly the best in the short format of cricket as well. And he's maintained his consistency at test level as well. So for me, we should follow the structure that traditionally we've been successful with and traditionally we've practiced in South Africa and just have Temba as the main and sole captain. He's made brilliant decisions. I mean, the ODI series, he got Virat Kohli on all three times. It was Temba. Temba was involved in all, in all three games. Temba was involved in getting Virat out, who we all know is a world-class cricketer. So for me, yeah, Tonde, I don't agree with you on the captaincy one.
Yeah. I know. It's fair judgment. I get both your views from. Yeah, I get it from both your lenses, but let's just wait and see how for the next test against New Zealand how things are going to be done, guys. But as well, guys, I just also wanted us to touch on the batting. As much as we won those games, but no, bro. Hey man, I wasn't comfortable watching the game. Remember, Sam, Tonde, rather. I used to send you WhatsApps saying it's 300. Oh, I think in the first game it was 296, right? I was like, is 296 a perfect score for us to defend? Because I know from a bowling standpoint, we tend to do better there. But from batting, even in the test game, first game, we were destroyed, we were annihilated in the opening game. And then all of a sudden, things turned around where who's this guy, the new guy, Peterson,
Keegan Peterson.
Yeah, Keegan Peterson came in. So can we discuss the batting, guys? Like your takes on it? Because for me, I wasn't comfortable, guys, watching us bat. Yeah, Sam, Tonde, rather you take it.
Yeah, so in the test format, our batting hasn't been good for a long time. Very rarely will you ever see the team in a position where it hasn't lost like 4 or 5 wickets with only 150 runs. So it's been going on for a long time. And look, if we are being brutally honest here, collapsing in test cricket is becoming a thing. And I'm not speaking particularly about SA. I know we were focused on SA here, but you watch the Ashes, you watch
Yeah,
different teams playing around the world, even India themselves, they have a problem in the middle of the order. So we've got a situation where it seems like to me the art of batting in tests is being lost, especially in the middle orders. There's no teams that have got middle orders that you can look at and say, okay, these ones are holding everything to to make a very big score. So batting all round in Test cricket, and again, we can speak about the shorter formats of the game affecting it, but the art and the skill of batting in Test cricket is at an all-time low for me because you rarely find matches like back in the day where they used to declare it 698. You rarely find those
yeah.
scores anymore. You
Yo,
rarely find
that's
those
so
scores.
true.
So it's
Yeah.
it's it's in the SA side as well. We have all obviously gone through a patch of losing our most experienced players from our best team ever. So we were going through a period where I think we were finding ourselves because even Keegan to be batting at number three, right? They had to be patient enough to say, okay, he didn't do well in I think it was the West Indies tour.
Mm.
But you had so, and that's the thing is like you need people who show up for you each and every time. But at the moment, we've got people who are performing in like patches, and that's been the problem. Is like you then left Quinton there batting with like tail enders, and some of the time Quinton himself he had a rush of blood. So our batting there is a frailty, especially in the Test arena. And I remember also sending a message to you to say SA have really found India, and they really got India into a spot where SA knows how to bat. If you post a score of 200 and something, we can fight it out. But the moment India scored 300 in that first innings, we were down and
Mm.
out. But again, if I come back to my earlier point, when SA bowled, I think they got India 7 wickets the next day for like 50 something runs or something. It was something cheap like that, right? So I'm so concerned about batting in tests all round. But I think more so SA because we lost people. You mentioned Aiden Markram.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure about him opening at test level. I probably get why. They need someone who can score quick. But the thing is, we do have people who are waiting in the wings. And it's about trusting people to go and perform on every kind of surface. And Amla was saying you need to be patient. And I don't know whether we've got that patience anymore in batting in tests.
Mm. Yeah. Modise, do you have
Yeah,
anything to add?
no,
Yeah.
no, I agree with him. And I mean, for me, I think obviously we've lost the touch where you will find an opening partnership of about 200 runs or minimum or even 150
Yeah.
at a
Ah,
minimum.
fair, Colin.
We
Yeah.
haven't seen that in a very long time, and that is created and built by instability in the batting order. I believe at test level. Test is a technical. It's where you test your technical abilities of cricket. And if you look at and I'll go back to reference India because that's their world class team. They can bat really deep. You will have an Ashwin coming in at a number 8, but
Mm,
he's capable of scoring 50. You have a
mm,
Takur who's
Even
coming in at
Taku.
a
Hey.
number 8, number 9, and he's capable of consistently scoring a 50. We don't
mm,
have that. We have Maharaj who will come in as the night's watchman, score 25. Great. Next game, he's out for a duck. You'll have Rabada who'll hit 2 sixes. The third one, he'll swing and it's a miss because he's facing a world class bowler like Jasprit Brumrah, and he doesn't
mm,
have an approach. He doesn't have the technical batting ability. We cannot rely on even our all rounders. When last did we say we have a solid all rounder at test level? I love Marco Jansen as a bowler. He bowled brilliantly. He's a young gem. I think we can build a world class team around a guy like him. at test level and even probably at ODI level, once he starts gaining the experience, he's already playing in the IPL, and he'll probably be retained and called up again. But, is he really an all-rounder based on how he performed? Whereas we have a left-arm seamer like Wayne Parnell, who's got international experience, as old as he is, yes, but, based on how he's been performing with the bat of late, should we not be calling guys like that up who we know will give us 20 or 30 towards the back end of the match? You have Quinton, who was batting at 7. For me, I'm not complaining that he retired at test level, honestly. He didn't really bring much to the table at test level. He's a brilliant wicketkeeper, brilliant batsman, world class. I love watching Quinton bat, especially when he's on form. But what was he giving us at test level coming in at number 7? And even if I speak about Temba, who currently is probably my go-to guy in South African cricket, why is Temba coming in at 5? And we're expecting Temba to score 100, but he's coming in at 5 when the team is under pressure, when, he basically has to try push as hard as he can and as fast as he can to either close the gap, and so we can push for a win, or accelerate the score as much as possible. Why can't we bring him a little bit high in the order, even number 4, even number 2, because I don't want to move Keegan from number 3 at the moment. Why can't he even potentially open and see what he can bring to us, bring for us at the table? Open with Dean, take it on, heads on, and let's see, maybe they could build a strong partnership. You have a guy like Rassie. Really, I mean, the inconsistency in test formats for Rassie and Aiden is actually quite disheartening, because we know the quality that they have and what they can bring to the table, but we just don't have a stable batting lineup, and we cannot bat deep as an international team. And I'm scared for New Zealand. They had their stand-in captain recently in the test against, who are they playing? Bangladesh, I believe. Yes, who scored, I believe, 250 in one of the games. I mean, we don't have those type of cricketers anymore. And if Kane Williamson comes in and performs at the level Kane Williamson is able to perform, he's going to easily score 150 or even a double 100 in one of the 2 test games. How are we going to come back to that when we are struggling to even score 100?
Yeah, no, that's so true, bro. That really is so true. And you guys made a valid point about how, especially you, Tonde, when you talked about how teams aren't reaching 600 runs. Remember back in the day, that used to be a common trait, a common thing that occurs, and now it never it seldomly occurs. But yeah, guys, like for me, like I'm not saying okay, yes, this is a big win for us. I mean, India are an elite team, but like for I wouldn't get carried away, because I see that a lot of people are getting carried away thinking that we are there. We still a work in progress as a team, and there's still more that we need to develop. And that's why us playing New Zealand, are they coming here or are we going there? I'm not too sure.
We're going to Christchurch.
We're going there.
We're going there. Yeah, see, I just wonder how well we will perform, because it's just two games, right? It's 2 test games.
Yeah, 2 test games.
Yeah, man. And I don't like these ones. Two. What if 1-1?
Yeah.
You see,
or you draw both, or you draw one and you lose one by chance.
You see what I'm saying?
You've lost the series. So
yeah.
But sorry, X, but I'm a bit nervous for the New Zealand test. I must be honest. I mean, if you look at it, I know they lost again one of the tests against Bangladesh, who Bangladesh haven't won a test since probably forever. But they were able to surpass New Zealand. But you look at New Zealand's bowling lineup, the swing that Trent Bolt is able to get with his pace, the variation with Tim Southee. My man, I'm scared, man. Kyle Jamieson, when he comes in with that bounce and he's big guy, that guy. I'm scared, because for us, the moment it's 25 for 2, you are worried. You are worried that we'll probably go all out for less than 150, because, again, we don't bat deep. So I'm a bit scared. They've got the guys, I forgot the standing captain's name, who's able to score 250. You've got Kane Williams, who's able to score.
Latham.
That guy, yes.
Latham.
Yeah.
Who's
Latham.
able to score, who's Tom Latham. And he's old. I think he's like 38 or something like that. Who's able to come in, score 250. You've got Kane Williamson, who's able to easily come in and score 100. Devon Conway, the South African guy who ditched us, he's able to come in and score over 100. And those are the guys that are opening the batting. We've got Dean, who's, yes, brilliant, but inconsistent. He'll score 70 here and then 5. And then he'll score 45 or 60, and then he'll score 3. You know, as an opener, we don't need that. We need an opener who we can rely on. Like the times when we were scoring 600, we had our Hashim Amla there, who, you know, can now score 300, 250 now.
Yeah.
You understand? We need to bring that momentum back. And a lot of pressure is going to be on Keegan Peterson as well, based on his performance. So if he doesn't perform, then now they're going to go back and say, one hit wonder. So I'm nervous for that, for those 2 tests, really.
Yeah. And when I say, how are you feeling? You seem like you confident, bruh.
Yeah, look, I'm pretty chilled about it because we have done well in New Zealand over the years. New Zealand, though, at the moment, are very hard to like play at home. But look, when it comes to batting, I know we are very inferior, but when it comes to the bowling, they have strong players who are playing in their own conditions. But I sort of look at our bowling lineup and I'm sort of hoping that we can, because our bowling, if it is good such that it restricts them as well, New Zealand. I'm not too, So I always felt like, and I always feel like talent it is there. So consistency is always the problem because that's what makes the great players from the average players. And I just felt like this team needed a very big win. So after the win in this, beating arguably the best touring team for the past couple of years, beating them convincingly, even 7 wickets, I feel like it's going to give these guys a certain level of, belief in themselves. And I think that's what they need. And there's no nicer people to go and try and beat than New Zealand, because there isn't any beef there. It's not like we're going to Australia or England where, it's very hostile. It's a hostile place. So, I'm feeling a bit, good about it. But obviously we'll see. New Zealand in their own conditions, very, very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Oh, no, true. And guys, in closing, it's gonna be a controversial question. All right. Is Mark Boucher a good coach?
No. Get him out of here.
Substantiate.
No. And I actually had this conversation with a guy, I think a week ago. And forget the allegations against Mark. But what I've realized under Mark that we didn't even have under Russell Domingo and all the other, and Mickey Arthur, and then is that there's a lot more pressure on the captains. Like, he's not even trying to relieve any pressure off the captains. I don't see his input. I don't see anything different that he's basically done to improve the team. And you can even see it through the inconsistent performances, right? It's the captains that have to step up and contribute and make the difficult decisions. You don't see the input coming directly from the technical team that is sort of leading from the outside as well, supporting and taking off that additional pressure off the captains. Like, for example, in the second test, when we had to chase down India's target, you could see that Dean was under immense pressure. He had to carry the team alone on his shoulder. And then when Temba came in, obviously it sort of cooled down the situation a bit. But you could see the pressure that the guys are under, under Mark. And also, dude, he's not a qualified coach for the level. That's it. Simple facts. We have Enoch Nkwe, we have Jeffrey Toyana, who we've seen what they can bring to the table. Over and above their race or whatever the case is, they've got the credentials, they've performed at the highest levels. Why can we not give them the platform to show that they have the ability to potentially even win a World Cup?
Yeah.
Tunde. I agree with you. At the end, no one can argue that Boucher isn't a qualified coach. He went to the Titans with no prior experience, but he won. He won trophies. He won 5 trophies with them.
Before him,
Um,
Jeffrey won everything, man. Before him, Jeffrey won
no,
everything.
I'm not saying anything against the coaches who won. We know
Oh,
they are, we know they've put in the work. We know
okay.
they've coached at the franchise levels. They would identify the talents easier. So that's why I said I'm not arguing. He came in with no prior experience, and um, that's the honest truth to it. I've always questioned the coach's role when it comes to cricket because cricket is such a technical sport that they have included an actual bowling coach, a fielding coach, and a batting coach. And you take all the guys who do sports science and you put them there. But the fact that the three basic things that you need to be good at in the sport, which is batting, bowling, and fielding, you've got coaches for that. So I've often questioned what's the actual role of the coach then in this scenario, So I've always thought, I suppose your job there is to pick technically sound 3 people who really know how to field, who really know how to bat, really know how to bowl in different, conditions. You even get teams getting specialized people to come and coach. If they tour a certain area, they may even ask, like Vern was asked by Pakistan to come and help them during the T20 World Cup and stuff because of his experience in the PSL. So I've questioned, like, what is the role of a cricket coach? And besides create an environment the way all the elements thrive, right? I really don't know what it is. So Boucher, it's very difficult for me to judge him as a good coach because the the time and the period which he also went to be coach, we're going through a period where even when Otis came in, tried to coach, like the team has just gone through a period where this happens. This happens in any sport where you, from the highs and highs of having Smith, Amla, De Villiers, Faf in your team, JP, yeah, Stain, you go then to patchy kind of scenarios where you're saying, is Markram an opener? Who is Keegan Peterson? Does Timber bat at 4 or 5? Quinton is always batting with the tail. And the tail, we have people who have terrible numbers. So for him to come in and try and build an environment where this team gets to a winning place is what he needs to be doing. So the first big scalp, right? We've gone through terrible losses as well, right? Where we never thought we'd lose series against like Pakistan, but we lost even at home. So his numbers aren't good, to be honest. But I question what is his role. So he comes in, and now the team has won the first big scalp under him. Let's see where he can take it. Look, like I said in the beginning, there's always going to be a race thing involved here. Graham is the head of cricket. How did he get there? No one knows. So
Yeah.
They know. Read
They
the
know.
SJN Commission inquiry, you'll know.
Yeah. I
Same
know it's
with
crazy.
voucher, same with everybody. And just sorry,
Yeah.
and I know you want to close off just before we go,
Yeah.
but I think Bavuma, you're being technical about this thing, and I hear what you're saying around the batting coach, bowling coach, etc. In football, there's a goalkeeper coach. Now there's a midfield shooting coach,
There's now
etc. It's
throwing
all the
coach.
same.
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. How everything now. Soon there'll be a diving coach in the penalty box. But the thing is, with all those coaches around, a guy like Pito, who I rate
Yeah.
highly, you can still
Yeah.
see and feel Pito's contribution to the game. You understand? If you watch IPL and you look at Ricky Ponting when he was managing the Delhi Capitals, you understand? You can see and feel Ricky's contribution to the game in every match and his involvement. And, even when he's talking to the guy, you can sort of see his drive, man, and his hunger for the guys to also win. for me, I don't feel it in Mark. Maybe he doesn't have the presence when he's on camera, but potentially in the dressing room, he's a complete different guy. For example, in the test when Dean was questioned about Kagiso's bowling and how he came back, and Dean mentioned that they gave KG a bit of a lashing. Why must Dean give KG that level of lashing? Yes, as a captain, you're expecting more from your guys, but that should already have started from the coach, even while he's on the field, because these guys can go out, drinks, toilet. He must follow him and tell him, Chief, come to the party now. Why must we wait till the game's over so Dean can say, this is the approach we're going to take with KG? It's little things like that. For me, I have not seen that presence. Mickey Arthur, we could feel what he was trying to do with the team. Even if you see him with the Sri Lanka guys, he's vocal, he's there, he's trying as much to get involved. I don't see that with Mark. Forget racial, forget SJNA commission inquiry. Sharp, he won what he won at the Titans. I mean, what did he contribute? The Titan is still winning to date because they've got world-class players. But that's just my opinion.
All right, no, I hear you guys loud and clear. Guys, thank you so much for availing yourselves once again. I'm introducing cricket to the channel. I'm just introducing as many sports as I can, just to make it more interactive and of course have more different faces. Guys, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Yo, this is Easy and James, and we out.
Peace.
Peace, gents.